guys, my name is Nikki and today we are doing Curious Kids from Home with a kit from the library. So let's get started. This is our Design a Monster kit. So if you look at our kit, we have a big caution sign. It says, "Caution, this contains glitter." So caution, if you're a parent that does not want glitter in your house, you can take the glitter out before you give it to your small child or large-sized child, all children. I know some people do not like glitter, so it is in one of these small plastic containers. If you don't want the glitter to be used in your house, you can just set it to the side, put it away, maybe give it to someone you know that does like to use glitter. All right, so I'm opening up my bag and I'm going to pull everything out. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, so on my bag I had the Design a Monster paper, so we are going to start there. You should also have 3 things of Model Magic in yellow, red, and blue. And then you have some pipe cleaners, a pencil, and some eyeballs. So we are going to be designing a monster. So we're going to go through the steps on our paper. So it says, step 1, draw a monster. Be creative as you can. So be as creative as you can. So I'm going to draw a monster. I think I'm going to start with a circle and work my way from there. I think my monster will have really big horns. And then really tiny little feet, so that he actually can't walk on them. He just rolls around. And then he has little octopus arms. So you can take this time and draw your monster. So draw your monster. Be as creative as you can. And you can decide, how many eyeballs should my monster have? I have a lot of eyeballs for my kit. Maybe my monster will have 4 eyes. Maybe 2 will be where eyes normally are. And then 2 will be under his mouth. My monster needs a mouth. So maybe we'll have some big, sharp teeth. And I can make those with my pipe cleaners. And then I think he'll have a nose with his eyes that are underneath of his mouth. So I have drawn my monster. So you have that box to draw your monster in. The next thing we're going to do is step 2. So step 2, name your monster. It can be anything you want. What should I name my monster? Maybe Franklin. I think he looks like a Franklin. So that's step 2. I have Franklin the monster. So step 3, decide where your monster would live. Does it like the cold? Maybe it's a silly monster who lives in a candy store. Ooh, let's see. So I have my monster, Franklin. I think he's gonna live in a train tunnel. That's where Franklin will live. Where is your monster gonna live? All right, so step 4, make a story about your monster, and you can write it down, and if you run out of room, use the back of the page. So instead of writing my story down, I'm going to tell you a story about Franklin the monster while I do step 5. So step 5 is use your model magic to create your monster. So while you guys work on your story about your monsters, I'm going to start creating mine with the model magic. and you have enough model magic, you may be able to create more than one monster, which is so fun. You could have a little family of monsters. So let's see. I'm going to use the blue model magic, and you just open it up. And you can squish it, and you can pull it apart, and if you have scissors, you can cut it. Whatever you need to do to make your monster. So I'm just going to roll mine into a ball. Since Franklin the monster, who lives in a train tunnel, starts out with a ball shape. And I think I'll tell you a story about why Franklin the monster lives in a train tunnel, because that's a funny place to live. So, I have Franklin's body here, and I think he has some nice big red horns. So, Franklin the monster lives in a train tunnel, but he didn't always live in a train tunnel. He used to live up on a really snowy mountain that was so tall you couldn't see it through the clouds. But Franklin, being blue and red and yellow, he didn't blend in very well with the snowy mountains. And people kept coming up to his door and taking his picture, and that would scare him because he's not a mean monster. He's a nice monster, and he doesn't like getting scared. So he thought long and hard, and he packed up all of his things, and he decided that he needed to move somewhere that he could blend in. So, Franklin the monster, with his blue body and red horns, thought maybe I could live somewhere that rainbows happen a lot. So Franklin moved to the rainforest. And when he got there, he did blend in with a lot of the different colored flowers and fruits that they have there. But what he forgot about rainforest is it rains a lot there. So Franklin packed his things all back up out of his treehouse, which is where he was living in the rainforest, and decided that this wasn't the place for him. So he then thought maybe I could live somewhere that it's warm and sunny and I could hide in the water because I have these nice blue body. So he has a nice blue body. So maybe he could hide in the water and live near the ocean. So Franklin moved to the Bahamas. So Franklin packed all of his things out of his treehouse, and he had to rent a boat to sail to the Bahamas. And that took him quite a while, because it's not easy to rent a boat when you're a monster. And it's not easy to learn how to sail when you have octopus arms. But he figured it out. He's a smart monster. And he made a nice friendly seagull. And the seagull helped give him directions. And he finally found the Bahamas. And he lived there for a little while. But every day he walked outside, and it was really hot. And Franklin, being a monster, does not like the heat. He likes it nice and cold. And while he was in the water, it was cold, or it was at least cool. It just wasn't what he was looking for. So Franklin gave the nice friendly seagull a wave goodbye and packed all of his things out of his cottage and went to live somewhere else. Where do we think he's going to go next? I think it might be time for him to meet a friendly rat. So, Franklin meets Fern the rat, who lives in New York. Do you know what's in New York? They have subway trains. So, the friendly rat that Franklin meets says, "Do you like living where it's cold?" And Franklin does. He does like living where it's cold. And then she asks, "Have you ever lived somewhere where it's dark?" Franklin hasn't done that. He's lived in the rainforest, and in the mountains, and in the Bahamas, and they all have quite a bit of sun. I mean, the rainforest gets kind of cloudy, but normally it's very nice. So maybe he wants to live somewhere where it's dark, and then his colors can blend into the background where it's nice and dark. And then she asks, do you like getting a lot of pizza and burgers and all kinds of good food? Because New York has a lot of good food. And Franklin does. He likes food a lot. So, Franklin and his friend the rat decide it might be time for Franklin to move into the subway train stations or the tunnels down below New York. And he has been living there ever since, with his octopus arms and his big red horns and his tiny little feet. And when he wants to go out and get some food, he just puts on a big old trench coat and grabs some food. So I have my Franklin body made with my model magic, but now he needs his eyeballs. How are your stories coming along? I hope they're wonderful. So you might be wondering, what part of this activity is STEM related or STEAM related, which is what our Curious Kids program is about. So part of STEAM, it stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So when you were drawing your monster, you were using your engineering skills. So you were engineering a monster, you were deciding what shapes would go well together. Would you want your monster to be able to stand up, or would you roll? So that's your engineering skills. And then you were also drawing, which is art. And we love using art. It's a great way to be interactive. And then we're not using a lot of technology in our Design a Monster, but you are using technology right now if you're watching this video. So if you're watching it on a computer or a tablet or a cell phone, all of those things are technology. And you're using the internet, and every time you use it, you get a little bit better at it, which is great. Ooh. Here we go. And then math. So our math skills are being used when you're deciding how many parts your monster is going to have. So I decided Franklin should have 4 eyeballs, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, 2 horns, 1 on each side of his head, 2 arms and 2 legs, and 1 nose. And I can make a math problem if I wanted to, deciding to add up all of his body parts or appendages. Right now I have his mouth on there. Ooh, he's got a spooky mouth. Then I'm going to make him a nice big red nose. So I hope you guys are having a ton of fun. And feel free to do our bonus step of our Design a Monster, which is take a picture of your monster and share it with the library. So we would love to see your monsters. I'm sure they turned out amazing. And I'd love to hear the stories that you made about them. So I will see you guys again soon, and I hope you have a happy Halloween. Bye!